Everybody to give a warm welcome to Rev Tress Phillips, and her talk title is Have Courage and Shine.
Okay, now you asked for it. I'm Reverend Tress Phillips, and it is such an honor to be here, to be able to share and have courage and shine. So what's that all about? Well, I want you to just recall a time in your life when these 4 words came into your mind. I feel so alive. For me, it would be in the mountains or in the woods, and I would feel just totally alive and full of life. But what in your life is alive? Just this spring, my husband sold his midlife crisis, hot red Solera car to our grandson who'd saved every penny he could. And he ended up having like $1.37 in the bank left, something like that. And he paid for it on his own, he worked for it. And this young guy got in this car, and I'll tell you, I've never seen a smile as big in my life as he had that day. And then, of course, his mom and I are talking over. I'm saying, you know, that's kind of a chick magnet. And she's saying, oh, yeah, I know that, but it's part of growing up, that joy. So feeling so alive, there's no reason why that can't be part of our life. Because we are here to be alive and live. But there's something that gets involved in all of this feeling alive and living our life, and it's called our thinking. And I can trip over my thinking all the time. It's like I can set up barriers I don't want. But Albert Einstein, who everyone says is so intelligent, changed the world with his thinking. He said something really simple. You can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. So you learn to think outside of the so-called problem and learn steps to get over it and live the life that you are here to be born to live. So I have a question for you. What have you been thinking lately? Only you know. But whatever you've been thinking, how is that steering you on your path of life? Are you going straight? Is it a little bumpy, a little crooked? Or are you in there with your red car and all the girls are looking at you and know life's good? Only you know. And only you are the one that can turn the key and get your life going in a different direction if you so choose. Part of my growing up, my father took pictures. And he took pictures, he took a photography course, and he studied and studied. We had a dark room in the basement. He would take them in film and develop the film. And it reminded me so much of our process of life. Because we had to go down into a room and it was totally dark except for one red light bulb. And he would develop the film through chemicals, and then he would put the film into a projector, and a light would shine down, and it would be onto a big piece of blank photography paper. And you could make it a big focus in or out, and just put the window of a house or the whole house in the city, whatever you wanted, through how you manipulated the projector, just like how we manipulate our life on whatever path. What problems are we making big? What thing are we making big that isn't big? See the whole picture. And that was developing a picture. So he would put it onto this piece of white paper, and it's still white paper. He would then put it into a pan. There were 3 pans, and they would have developer in them, different stages, maybe a developer, and then one stopped it from developing, and then just water. And right before my eyes, because I learned how to do this too, I would see, I kind of see a building, and you would see this building form up in front of your eyes. And then there might be a car in the picture. Whatever it was, you'd see these things form. And that's reminded me of our life. We see our life form in different shapes. I remember also he had a really old portrait camera, one that he'd put on, and I got to look at it, and one of the ladies, he was doing a portrait, and what I'd see is she was totally upside down in the picture. And it was a type where that's the way the picture would be, but it would end up being the right side up when he developed it. So if we don't like what's developing on the picture of our life, well, we can change it. Change our thinking, change our life, begin anew. We're allowed to change our mind. There's no hard, fast rules. Whatever we may think, we can go forward. And once you begin to change and go toward what you want, your life will change. Change your thinking, change your life. But there is a warning about this. Nobody's going to do it for you. You have to do the work in your life to make a difference. But you're not alone. Remember, there is that life force in you, that it's not like I stood there and already born and said, here I am, I'm alive, yada. No, that breath of life came into you. You became alive from a power greater. Now, we all have our own words, our own understanding, and we are all different. But we all know we're alive, and that's how we are all one. So how do we start? Well, how about right inside? If you think you change other people in the world will be different, you're going to be spinning your wheels for the rest of your life. The change has to come right here within you by honoring who you are and knowing that within you is the creator, the creative intelligence of the universe is what is in, as, and through us every moment of the day. I think for some reason, I know in my way of understanding as I grew up, that there was a real fear of some sort of creative intelligence. And actually, I was a rebel. And I was a rebel because I did not do as my father wished. He could not believe what I did. just about the worst sin in my family. I did it. And it's almost like I was born going to do this major, horrible sin. I'll tell you what that sin is. Dad, I like God. What? I want to go to church. What? And it was a real serious thing from past experience from my dad's life. No religion. Well, I couldn't help it. It was just like I was born to want to look into that. And I remember when I went and had the exams after I studied for the ministry and went and had the exams and came back. My father was sick and he was in the hospital. And I said to him, I said, Dad, I made it. I'm now a minister. You know what he said? I'm so happy. Because he was dying. And he knew I got my dream, and he knew, like all his fears, who cares? Look at the hard work. Follow the dreams, whatever's in the way. Because there's something inside of you that is ready to grow and expand and be, and you know what it is. And you just have to allow it if you want to feel comfortable in your life. That's why I asked that they sing, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." Because that was a song that I sang with old Grandma Laird when I worked at Wilco, before I finagled that guy at the TV there. And I know I've told that story so many times. But her and I, we used to have to put the prices on the product, and we'd be singing, and this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. So she'd be saying, how are you doing with that little cute little guy? Well, I'm working on, okay, this little light. Well, it worked. And there's some things about people you can't change. Because our first date we went on, guess who forgot his wallet? Guess who often keeps forgetting his wallet? Now, if you look at it through his eyes, guess what I did? I tripped over a curb and fell flat on my face. And no, it was the middle of the day where we had no refreshments or anything. We were going to walk for coffee. And guess what? I still trip over curbs and everything. So there's parts of people you can't change. There's parts of us unique. But what I want to talk about is the power that we each have within us to make a difference in our life. And guess what? If we clear the road in our life and allow the real us to come out, or how we can help one another, we clear the road so others can see us, but we clear the road so others can follow the path. They have their own pathway. Life begins in its fullness within us. We have to open our eyes, be part of it, and live our life. I went through a bunch of quotes with the light, because the light shining to me is allowing who you are to come forward. Like, not many people come up here and hang on to that podium. But that podium we've had for many years, and I would get up there and it would go waddle, waddle, waddle. I mean, I would waddle, waddle, waddle up here because that's the way I walked up. I'd get up there, waddle, waddle. Well, Gord said, I can fix that waddle. And he took it home and did whatever Gord did to make it, and it doesn't waddle anymore. So isn't that wonderful? That was his light to shine. That's what he could do. So we can get up here as ministers or readers or whatever and feel that a lot firmer thing. He contributed who he was. So talking about, it says like in Matthew 5:15, neither do men light a lamp to put it under a bushel, but on the stand, and shineth it unto all that are in the house. So, I mean, what good's a light bulb if you don't turn it on? Why not turn on the light within you? Be what you are. So are you hiding your light, your talents, your good qualities from others, keeping them to yourself? Maybe you're shy. Or maybe you think, no, maybe not today. Well, stop being so darn stingy and share who you are with what's around you, because that is a God-given talent that you have. And you know how by one simple action, one simple word, you can change what's going on. And you think, oh, that's not true. Well, just think of all the things that you can push one button and change the outcome of what happens. What is your mind thinking of? What is it you want to do? Allow the light of the divine to flow through you. So, you ever not make a decision, like, what are you going to choose in your life? How are you going to go forward? Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not good enough. I'm afraid. Oh, this one. I'm too old. You can get a lot in life by milking I'm so old. And one of the things, if you people run you right over, they couldn't care less. And that's the truth. Because I've almost been run over quite a few times. I used to dance. I used to run all over. I was hyper as heck. If my mom was here, she'd tell you stories. But my journey's changed a little bit now. So I get to be the, oh my goodness. And I'm thinking, don't run me over, please. But nobody means harm. They just are in their own world and what's going on. So what's in your world? What are you in a hurry to get to? Or what have you not yet started the journey? Because you're not alone. You have within you that divine mind, that universal spirit, the all that is. Divine mind, universal spirit, God, whatever word you have, always has been, is now, and forever will be. Forever. Ever and ever. There is no limitation on that life force within us to do as and be who we are, what we need to be, what we want to do. The only limitation is our own thinking stopping us from going forward in our life. And we can do a lot in this world, each of us, in our own special way to make a big difference here and now. The only thing stopping us is ourselves. And I have the impression that there's some things in life that take courage, and there's some things that are big changes. And it's interesting the scenario that goes on in our brain of, gee, wish I can't, oh my goodness. Well, yes, you can. You're the boss of your life. You're the one who says it, and you're the one who opens the door. And what I'm talking about is the energy of the divine mind coming in as and through you. It's called prayer. But we have all different ways of praying. First of all, the meditation is one way you feel a connection with the divine, a oneness, a wholeness, a completeness. Like that beginning, I feel so alive. That is the feeling of the joy of the divine. There's all sorts of ways that I want this, I need this. Well, have you stopped, quieted down, and look, hey, what's going on around me? Oh, what I've been looking for, wanting, is right here. I've just never bothered to go out and be brave enough to look in that direction. What we need will come to us if we ask. Ask, and ye shall receive. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and the door will be opened. You heard that. You ask. You seek. Well, that's good. You have to knock on that door. Knock, and it'll be opened. How does divine mind know what you want unless you ask for it, unless you knock for it? You can't. I can stand outside selling brownie cookies all day long. Unless I ring the bell, nobody's going to open the door. So what is it in life we are just, no. We haven't rang the bell. Maybe it's that job you want. Maybe it's that where you want to move to. Maybe it's a new adventure. Maybe it's a love interest. Only you know your journey, and only you take one step at a time to get to where you're going. But you're not alone, because that power, that energy, that divine, it is the thinking within you, the life force within you is so much bigger than just you. I was reading in one of our magazines, and Reverend Dr. David Alexander explained, our philosophy offers the idea that the voice of God isn't a booming sound from above, but it is an inner knowing. We all have inner knowings. But I don't know how often people pay attention to your inner knowing. That inward voice that is guiding us. Well, maybe I better not, what the neighbor next door, they might not like what I better not do that. Well, how many times of this better not thinking? Think of all the things, and we all have one or two of them, that you thought of, you invented in your brain. All these things. And then somebody actually has the courage, goes out and builds it. Remember, you'd put that shield across your window that was cardboard. I invented that in my head. I thought, oh, well, you could. Well, somebody else, they came in and swiped up my idea, and they invented it themselves. We all have that inner knowing, that connection with the divine. And there is the one mind of the universe. So if I think of something, it's not unusual that someone else will say what I'm thinking, Or someone else invents what I thought, yeah, that'd be a real good idea. Well, they go out and invent it, and they're laughing all the way to the bank or whatever's going on in their life. The one mind, the one energy, we are all one together. That doesn't mean we get along. I mean, all you have to do is go to work every day, and there's going to be something happens. That someone does something, or the baseball game. Well, they didn't do that right. And here we are sitting, just commenting. We all have such an opportunity to live and be who we are and change ourselves, and through changing ourselves, change the world. The only reason that we have limited potential is we have shut the doors on the divine energy, the God essence within us. There is nothing stopping us but ourselves. And there's times that have been tough. We each have had we don't even want to talk about something. Yet we're here now. We got here. We got through. See, divine mind is always expressing in, as, and through us. And just wait, I wonder what's around the corner for us to express, to see, to be part of. I was reading about a fellow. He was so discouraged. But he was going to climb a mountain, so he's climbing this mountain like a big, giant hill. And he's climbing. I'm so scared, and he's climbing. I'm never going to get there. What a dummy. I thought I couldn't make it. And he's on there berating himself, and he's getting higher and higher. And then he kind of peeks down, and he realizes, oh. And then he looks up. Oh! He was, all the time he's moaning, groaning, complaining, but he kept going. He was almost at the top, and he got to the top. He could do it. He always could do it. So what do we have that we can do? What can we share? Dr. Holmes, that we study, says the spark which burns at the center of our own soul is caught from the living and eternal flame from the Spirit. It's the life force within us which has absolutely no limitations. Like the sun came up in the morning, it'll go down at night. Life goes on. There are no limitations. And it's the sum total of our thinkings up until now that has made us what we are today. Well, you don't like what's going on today? Create a new thought. Start on a new journey. One step at a time. One breath at a time. If there's a fear, well, one fear at a time, but keep climbing that mountain. And a lot of the mountains that I realize that I'm climbing, I put that mountain there in the first place because I didn't believe in myself to go forward and do something. I didn't believe that there was a power in me that could do what I wanted to do. I was so busy feeling sorry for myself on the way of my journey. And there's no joy in feeling sorry for yourself. There's no joy in stopping. You're not going to get anywhere if you keep spinning your wheels. And yet the old brain, oh yeah, but no, you better not, oh yeah, whatever. Feel the power within yourself, the divine power, the universal mind, the all that is. Everything that lives proclaims the glory of God in its own way, and we do too. One of the things that I had at my ordination, and thanks to Reverend Valentine, she made sure they were there, sunflowers. And you look at those sunflowers, and the sun comes up, and they move towards the way the sun goes. And there's that big, beautiful yellow flower just basking in life, basking and enjoying and growing and creating. Well, we who think we are so smart because we are human are going, some of us, day to day, oh my goodness, oh my, and here is the sunflower. Well, the creative energy that created the earth, created the plants, created that sunflower. Well, if it can stand there and not move and be happy, what the heck is in my way of being who I'm meant to be? Being happy, sharing my beauty, sharing my joy. It's me. So I need to know how to change that. Well, there is a prayer method that we have, Dr. Holmes said, and it's just plain. It's not, help me, help me, help me. It's a scientific prayer. It's very simple. You recognize, recognition, there is one power in the universe. I recognize there is the one universal power. Second step, unification. I am. I'm one with that power. Realization. I affirm. I know that my life is healthy. My life is joyous. My path is clear. I affirm. And then you believe. I give thanks. That's the key. You ask and you believe. And then you release. I let go and I know that it's done, that divine mind, God, has taken care of it. Recognition, higher power. Unification, I'm one with the higher power. It's in, as, and through me. Affirmation, I know that I am in the right and perfect place at the right and perfect time. Whatever it is you want, like that red car, he affirmed it, he got it. Nothing was going to stand in the way. The belief gives the power and opens the door to that universal divine energy working in us and through us in all we do. And give thanks, because thanks is saying, well, it might not be right in front of my face, but it's going to be here. And you know it and you declare it, and it's like you seal it as true. And then you let go and let God. So that's the amen. Realize that I'm not talking about somebody out here, wherever. The guy across the street that's watching the Jays in 30 and seeing if he liked what's going on. No. You're you, right here, right now in your chair. And you're the only one that knows you. And the thing I know about you, and I'm not afraid to tell you about you, is you were born for a reason. You're here, and you're not just oh, and me. No. You are given the gift of life. You are given a gift. You are a gift here, and you each make a difference in the world, and you can change how you live, what you do, by just following the steps, asking, knock at the door, believe you'll receive it, and then don't just stand there. Look in your mind, look around and say, okay, the answer is, and the answer to whatever it is, or the solution, may in heck be way in some area you didn't even think about, and it's been there all the time, but you asked, you opened the door, and that divine energy came in as and directed you. There's nothing to fear, because it is the divine in you, as you always has been, always will be. It's just our humanity, our way of thinking sometimes puts the monkey wrench in every single thing. So get rid of the monkey wrench, get rid of it, and know, and feel the glory of who you are. So I'm just going to run you through this one time, and I want you to think something that you want, you desire, or whatever. So, recognition. And fill in the blanks. You can close your eyes if you wish. I know that there is one divine power, one energy in the universe. I know that I am one with the divine universal energy, the God essence. And I now affirm that you fill in the blank with what it is you are seeking. And I give thanks knowing that that is mine now. And I know that it is so. That is a spiritual mind treatment. It is a way of praying, if you want to call it that, for a highest good, for an outcome. It's so wonderful to see each of you here today. And I know that this is just the morning of a wonderful day to you, and the journey has just begun on a whole new adventure of who you are and what's going to happen today and from now on in your life. And so it is.